Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the 7th installment of our Beautiful Garden series. And this is the first time that we are posting it here on our highlights channel rather than on our main channel, with the hopes that we can continue on with the series.
And there's a link below if you want to submit photos.
Yeah.
But we have a lot to get through.
We do. So we will jump right into the first garden, which is from Emily in Washington, Zone 8B. And it looks like we have a before picture here. And the interesting thing about this picture, you can kind of tell that the yard is sloped, but this picture was in 2021 before they did a complete overhaul. Let's take a look at the after. Dang, that is so much work. Oh my gosh. So she said that when they did the overhaul, they made it terraced. So the level that has the greenhouse and the raised beds there on the right, that sits lower than the rest of the yard. I think it is such a talent when you can see a space like that and you can envision like not only just creating a flat landscape,
Sure.
but creating something with a lot of dimension like that and like fixing a problem.
Yeah.
You know, not that a slope is a problem, but it can be a little bit easier to garden in flat spaces versus slope spaces. And the vision to create a lot of different, like making this space multi-purpose, that's really, really incredible. Like the fire pit area.
Really nice background with the trees.
Yeah.
I like the little pavilion too.
Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's like a little...
I was going to say pergola, but it's not a pergola.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what you would call it exactly.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And then there's a close-up shot of the greenhouse area later on in the season. I love seeing that. I can't wait to see that out in our own garden.
Yeah.
But the corn and the zinnias and everything looks really happy and healthy. Beautiful job, Emily. Next is from Doug in Alabama, Zone 7B. We have a before picture, and this is a historic house. So this one was built 1916, which ours was 1919.
Yeah.
So this one's 3 years older. And he said it was in disrepair. The yard was severely neglected. You can kind of just see here, and there's a huge slope right in front of the yard. Check out this after.
Dang.
Oh my goodness.
The roses.
80,
those are roses,
yeah,
right?
80 popcorn drift roses. He said what a chore it was to plant those, but it's well worth the show. They provide every season.
Does that create a big mess that you have to clean up, though, with the... Like, do they drop petals?
Well, they drop petals, but I think especially that color, they kind of just like brown and become part of the mulch.
Sure.
And there's so much color going on right there. I'm not sure that you would notice what's down below. I mean, I'm not there seeing it. So
Was that walkway... So it looks like they moved the... Or no, is there two walkways now or two staircases?
let's see. One on the left or just the one on the right?
Yeah, it looks like they got rid of the staircase that goes up straight and then added one over to the side. Which is interesting.
In front of the house?
In front of the house, right?
This is the front of the house. There's a staircase leading straight up.
Yeah.
I don't see one to the side. Do you see one?
I think it does. If you look at, go to the next picture.
Okay.
It's in the wintertime, which is really pretty. But see how the walkway curves?
It curves.
And so it doesn't go straight down to the road anymore.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Yeah, they moved the staircase over to the side.
I thought you said there was another staircase on the right there.
Well, maybe there was never one to begin with in the before picture.
Okay, so the other thing I really love about this is that he said that with the porch being painted white, the brick being painted white, and the house was white, it was just so much white brick that he wanted to soften it, and he always liked the look of creeping figs, so he knew that is exactly what he wanted to grow.
Wow.
To kind of soften that, and that is absolutely stunning. Plus the little improvements to the front of the home, like taking the shutters off, not having the bright red, just like updating it a bit. There's no dormer up top. You see that? Dormer's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a, what do you call it? Over the door? Like a little overhang. There's probably proper terms, but like the whole home looks like a different place in a way. It looks updated and fresh while still maintaining some of that old vibe. I love it.
Yeah. It looks tastefully done.
It does. And the winter picture is gorgeous. Seeing all that snow on all of the winter interests is beautiful. Okay, next is from Rith in Illinois. I had to think about my state abbreviations there for a second. Zone 5B. There's a lot of beautiful color. Look at that.
It's like Super Bina in the front.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So description says I use Proven Winners annuals, fertilized weekly with Proven Winners water soluble. Use Biotone on everything I plant. You can tell everything looks so good. My husband put a drip system in for me, which is so nice. Let's take a look at this, kind of like from up top, like over on stairs looking down. There's hostas and phlox, and boy, you could spend a lot of time looking at this, like looking at individual plants and picking out what's in there. How fun is that? And then look along the sidewalk. Hydrangea, tons of coleus. I love the look of multiple different varieties of coleus all planted together.
Yeah.
And like having that just be what it is in a space. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I like this little corner section with the tree in the middle, hydrangeas flanking it, and then annuals down below. Oh my goodness. A lot of beautiful color in your garden. Next one is from T.S. Burke in Chicago, Zone 5. So the first photo here, May 10th, 2022, Redbuds, Prairie Fire Crabapple. Oh my goodness, the color. Isn't that beautiful? I love seeing all those trunks too. There's something like very woodland-esque about it.
What kind of alliums are those?
Oh geez, I don't know. Sensation. Allium sensation. Geraniums and other shrubs and emerging summer perennials. That's in these next two pictures. It's a 120 foot by a 40 foot bed. That's good size, but look at how peaceful that is. Having a little bit of a monochromatic vibe, the purple with the green.
Yeah.
That's really well done. Beautiful. Oh my, look at this. Next one's from Steph in Ohio, Zone 6B. This is from Steph's parents' garden. She said, much like you, I grew up developing this space as a child alongside them. So you feel like it's partly yours, right? That's how I feel about my parents' garden.
Yeah.
When we go tour it, I'm like, well, I remember helping build this, or I remember helping weed this area, or helping plant this or that. And when you grow up in a space, that I think that's forever your space too.
Sure.
Even though I haven't I've done little things for them, planted and helped them with clean out and stuff, but they do a lot of it themselves now. I don't, go out there and work on a regular basis. Anyway, they designed, built, and planted every special nook. I remember my grandmother and mom walking these gardens, talking about the plants and future plants, and now I do the same with my mom. That is so special. Look at the vista through here, seeing that fountain in there, seeing the balance too on either side, especially that coleus underneath kind of that porch area.
It takes a lot of planning to get those kinds of, scenes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And probably a lot of tweaking through the years. There's a lot of things that you and I are like, ooh, we need to move that over a bit.
Sure.
Or we need to, so we can fit this or that in. And I feel like it's going to forever be that way. But look at the second picture, you guys, with the water and the gazebo type structure in the background that looks so Victorian and gorgeous. Would you say that's Victorian? It looks kind of Victorian to me.
Yeah.
That looks like a scene that you would see in like Anne of Green Gables to me. The next one, I love this. It looks so peaceful. This is from Marie Louise in Sweden, Zone 6. She said she's a hobby gardener, that she's been gardening in this space since 2003, and it's a small garden, but you would not know that from these pictures. Look at the next one. Oh, the colors here, the hydrangeas just brimming over the top of that chair. And she did include variety names. Thank you for that. So the hydrangeas are Paniculata grandifloras. The ornamental grass that we're seeing here is a miscanthus. Have a beautiful, colorful plumes on top. And then the light pink roses are a variety called aspirin rose. And there's some hidcote lavender in there and white veronica. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but she did say she's just a hobby gardener. And she just loves to pour through gardening magazines and books like we all do, watch gardening videos, and just get inspired by that. That's the whole point of these videos, you guys, is to be able to pour through people's garden spaces from all over the place and gather up ideas. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful space. So she said it's an oval that she divided up into 3 round beds to make it appear wider and less oval, I guess. And it's just a gorgeous space. Okay, the next one is sort of a before shot of a really nice looking deck. Nice and clean. I love the color of the wood. This is from Linda in Michigan, Zone 6B. Okay, so now they've got a big planter bed built. They call it their mega bed. I love that. They said, that we built this deck and then we realized oh, hello, there are our neighbors right there. We need to create a little bit of privacy. So they built this bed. You can see a closer up picture here. It's all filled up and ready to roll. Here it is. A little bit early in the season, you can see the trellises that's a really good idea to add some trellis, activity back there. So that really kind of blocks some space. There's some Alberta spruces in there in between the trellis. And then here it is later on in the season. Look at how much things have grown, and you can't see the neighbor's house, not nearly as well as you could before. And then, oh, look at it at the end of the season. That is a massive display of annual color. Oh my gosh. What a great idea too. You know, just to think of something like that to put up during the season, to grow these big, beautiful things. Oh, I think that's a really cool idea, Linda. Next is a picture of a back patio area from Jason in Hudson Valley, New York, zone 5B. He said this is the only part of their property that receives enough light to plant full sun plants.
Wow.
They have huge trees on their whole property, and so it's very difficult to get anything that needs sun to grow, anything that needs more than 2 hours anyway. Can you imagine to have such a situation?
Yeah. I dream of that.
I know, I know. But then I can also understand the struggle because my parents' garden is very mature. They have a lot of trees, and so they don't have as many sunny beds to plant.
Right.
And so all of these perennials that I'm getting in and planting, my mom's like, oh, I love those. I wish I could plant those, but I don't have a sunny spot for them. So there is kind of like, you know, you just want like half and half.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Well, and you know, you kind of can too if you space your trees out. I mean, if you're starting blank, like we are, you can space your trees out enough to where things get kind of like that half day sun. So it's enough to where they'll grow.
Right.
But then you also have, you know, shade. You know,
shade too.
To where things aren't getting scorched as well.
Right. This is a beautiful patio though. I love the color of your cushions. One with the color of planter that you chose for your table, like your coffee table there.
Yeah.
And that's a really beautiful tie-in. And the color of the umbrella. It's all coordinated. It looks very,
I like
very nice.
Pops of color like that. I feel like I'm really hesitant to like jump into brighter colors, but I always like it when I see other people do it.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
do too.
Whenever, if I was looking at buying a set, I'd be like, oh, just get like a cream or a gray.
Get tan.
Or,
you know, for me, we have orange cats. And so for me, I'm like, well, tan doesn't show the orange fur as much. And they're going to lay on it.
The freaking cats.
I know. I know.
We liked the cats a lot more before we had kids.
Yeah.
Now they're just kind of like, I mean, they're sweet and you know, they're fine and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just not quite the same after kids.
Yeah. We don't have as much attention to devote to them as we did before. I love this next one. This is from Lauren in New Hampshire, zone 6A. I love a good line of cabbage. I do. I always have. I think cabbage is a beautiful plant in the garden, and we plant way more of it every year, or I do, than we could ever eat. Or I don't even know what you would do to preserve it. We don't do like that's sauerkraut, right? It's made from cabbage. I don't really care for sauerkraut. I'm not going to be making that. I just like the look of it. I think they look so gorgeous. So this picture, this does it for me. And seeing, are those leeks behind it or something like that? And
it's very tidy.
Yeah, very tidy. And I love the gray wood. I love the aged gray wood.
Yeah.
It looks so like Tasha Tudor or Beatrix Potter or something like. There's an ease about it. There's not like so much.
Is it more like whimsical or?
I don't know. It just looks comfortable. It looks comfortable while being beautiful, and I think it's gorgeous. So here's another picture. Different kind of view there. I like the arbor. You see the arbor in the background with the white roses, I'm guessing, on there, and the dahlias. I love the teepee trellises. Those are so pretty. Oh, and then a cut garden right there. Okay, so I want to read a little bit of information here. Lauren said that she starts all of their own seedlings in their basement under grow lights and sells off extras at their honesty stand to help pay for her addiction to plants. I should do that.
Yeah.
I could set up a stand and.
Well, we kind of do by making videos in a way. It's like that's what fuels the fire.
I guess.
Fuels your addiction.
She opens up the gardens for brides to be in that picture we just saw, so that they can, or maybe it's still up on the screen, so they can cut their own flowers for their big day. I love that. We've had that several times in our cut flower garden. Flowers go out for lots of different events and memorials and weddings and birthdays and all kinds of things like that. And then we can easily feed our family of 4 using succession planting in the vegetable garden. I'm forced to DIY as much as possible, compost and barter to keep things affordable. And I think that is such a really, I don't know, that just makes me feel good. Makes me feel good to see your space. I'd like to walk in this space. Look at this picture of the perennial border. Well, I guess there's some annuals in there. Zinnias and verbena. Oh, and then the obelisk or is that a trellis? What do you call that? It's a trellis, the round thing.
I think it's a sphere.
Or spherical trellis. I don't know. But I always love those in containers and the beautiful geraniums. Oh my goodness. And look at the shed. This reminds me of Ron and Suzanne's garden, Aaron. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
So my mom worked for florists here in town for several years when we were just starting to go to school. More like my sister was just going to school during the day for a certain amount of hours, and my mom would only work the hours that we were in school, and then she would come pick us up and we'd go home. But she worked for a florist and by the name of Ron and Suzanne, who owned the business, and they were kind of like my grandparents. We actually spent more time with them than we did anybody else. We spent holidays with them, and they had like this kind of vibe. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I see this and I'm like, oh, this just takes me back to my childhood.
You associate like good memories with that.
Very much so. It's a gorgeous space. And this one is from Carolyn in New Hampshire Zone 5B. And it looks like there are just so many gorgeous, healthy looking plants in your garden. Oh my word. I see the lungwort and the hostas and the carex in there. I see the hydrangea in the background. So Carolyn said, I'm finally able to grow hostas now that I've protected all of them from the voles. Voles can be so destructive. These photos are some of my faves from my yard last year. Okay, let's take a look at the second one. Look at the viburnum.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, viburnum. Oh, that's so pretty. It's like a Marie's double file. There's a barberry and hosta. A barberry or a weigela? I can't tell from here, but that's so super pretty. And then hostas and penstemon there. Oh, there's Solomon seal and some bishop's weed. I wonder how you feel about that plant. That's the white and green variegated one. I think that they are so pretty, but they are so freaking invasive. I mean, my parents have some underneath some spring snow crabapple trees in their garden, and they just weed whack it down every once in a while. And they do keep it in check, and they like it because it is kind of like this very puffy, soft looking hedge of perennial that just like comes back with a vengeance. But it does want to spread like crazy. But it looks pretty in there. And then the red astilbe. And then look at the birdhouse here up on the post, and more hostas looking so fresh and pretty. I like the color of mulch you have. I like dark mulch. I do. I think it contrasts the plants and makes everything look so
It just looks rich.
fresh.
It looks like rich soil.
Rich soil.
You know?
Yeah.
Whereas I think other colors of mulches like red and
Well, even brown looks red to me. We've used
Yeah.
brown mulch before, and I'm like, oh, we get the bed done. It's too bright.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I just like the darker mulch. I mean, that's totally personal opinion.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. We've got some red echinacea right alongside hostas. That is not fair. We could never, ever do that. But I love it. And I see your protection from the voles. You see in there?
Yeah.
See the hardware cloth?
Yep.
And then some beautiful sedum. Look at that. And barberry right behind it. And some artemisia, that blue puffy cloud-like plant. Hydrangeas looking really great. Awesome. Oh, your garden is full of beautiful things. And that's it for today, guys. We are going to be trying to keep these videos just a tiny bit shorter so that we can hope to stick to the once a week posting schedule with these. That's the whole reason why we moved it over to highlights, because they are more intensive to edit. And on top of all of our other projects, we don't want it to get pushed aside. So anyway, we'll keep them a little tiny bit shorter and hopefully keep going. That was a lot of words I just said just to make one point. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to all of you who have submitted your garden photos and information. We really, really appreciate it. And we will see you back here again next week with another very similar video. Bye.